Yes, good morning everybody. Welcome to this session of transportation engineering. In the previous sessions, I had explained you all the importance of a proper road network, what important role it plays in economic development of the country. So we need to have a very good proper road network. For that, we also need the different needs related to those road network as a highway alignment. Today in this topic, we'll be seeing what is highway alignment and what are the different surveys related to this highway alignment. Basically, you can see here what is highway alignment. The position or layout of center line of the highway on the ground is called the alignment. See, basically when we come up with a road network, we have to see the layout. See, we have one end to the other end, we have a distance depending on number of lanes. Though now after getting that distance, we have to mark the center line. This center line is called as the highway alignment. This alignment should be marked at the center. You can see it includes straight path, horizontal deviation and curves. See, when a road network is marked, all the terrains which we find, all that are not flat enough. So sometimes we also get horizontal deviations and curves also. Now depending on those curves also, we need to mark a proper highway alignment. This is very important. See, basically if a highway alignment is marked properly, then we have many advantages of it. You can see here, due to improper alignment, what are the disadvantages? The increase in construction. The construction cost can get increased. See, if I don't come up with a proper road map, then there is a disadvantage where the construction cost can increase. If I take a long route and if I without coming up with different surveys, if I take a long route, then there are high chances of the increasing of the construction cost. So it is very important. We need to have a good highway alignment. You can also see the increase in maintenance cost also. There is an increase in maintenance cost also. What happens sometimes if we go up with a longer highway alignment or a longer route, and sometimes the route also crosses some places where it is very difficult to go for maintenance also. Some places like hilly areas also, and some places where there is mountainous areas also, it is not practically easy to go and maintain those areas. So sometimes if we don't come up with a proper highway alignment, even this can increase. Rather than, we should come up with some easy alignment where we can in future, if we need anything, we can take up the maintenance projects also. You can see the next disadvantages of not properly aligning a highway: increase in vehicle operation cost. You can understand these things. You must have seen many outer ring roads which have come up. So they were taken up from outside of the city. Basically, other factors were also taken into consideration. That is why they were taken out of the country. These roads don't take the shortest part. Sometimes they take even a longer part. If there are some chances of coming with the shortest path, and we rule it out and we don't look at it, and we come up with a longer range, then there are chances of the vehicle operation cost also increasing. You can even see this because of improper highway alignment. There are chances of accidents also. The number of accidents also increase. You must have seen at some places when the deviations are not, when there are curves are not properly maintained, they give very short curves. At those places, there are high chances of collision from the vehicles coming from the opposite direction. So it is very important we come up with a good highway alignment. Sometimes you must have seen at some places they even give this instructions also. This area is accident prone area also. And because one of the biggest reason also can be because of improper alignment also. You have given some sharp curve, because of that you don't get good side distance. What is coming from the opposite direction, you have very sharp steep curve. Because of that, you can't see what is coming from the opposite side. You suddenly turn the vehicle, and from the opposite side there is another vehicle, which leads to accidents also. So it is very important we come up with a proper highway alignment. You can see, once the road is aligned and constructed, it is not easy to change the alignment due to increase in cost of adjoining line and construction of costly structure. As I had told you, see this, whether you go for a flexible payment or you go for a rigid payment, in both the cases, these payments are costly. You come up on the subgrade soil. Subgrade soil is that soil which is your land. On that you come up with a sub base course. You come up with a layer of a course material. We'll see what does it include in the later units. So you come up with a sub-base course, one layer, then you come up with a base course, then you come up with a surface course. So once you have aligned and once you have laid the road, if it is improper, you can't change it. It's not so easy. So it will it will increase the construction cost also. As you can see, there is change the alignment due to, it is not easy to change the alignment due to increase in cost of adjoining land and construction of costly structure. As I told you, the structure is also costly. Rigid pavement is also very costly. You come up with cement concrete pavement, it is costly. So we need to properly align the highway alignment. So this is very important. You can just see, I've just put these figures here. You can see what does that alignment mean, the center line that has been marked. You can see the road is turning here in the right figure, which is looking green here. That road is has a curve here. So depending on that curve also, we have to maintain that center line. It is very important. You must have noticed when you are driving a vehicle, you have a center line marked with they are even painted. You can see in the left figure there, that center line has been marked and it has been painted. This is very important. The one advantage what I feel as a commuter is when we drive vehicles in the night, at that time the vision is not proper because there are vehicles coming from the opposite direction. Though it is a one-way road, you have vehicles coming from the other lane, but because of the focus of the high beam lights, it is very difficult for the driver to see where whether he is on the right path or he is getting deviated from his road. So this is not possible. In that time, in those cases, it is very easy for the driver to maintain his vehicle between this to drive his vehicle over this center line. So it will be very easy. So this is the advantage. So it is very necessary we should come up with a proper highway alignment. You can see this, though there is a curve, but still the center line has been maintained here. Let us see now the requirements of highway alignment. It should be short as possible, because as I had told you, if we take a longer route, the construction cost might get increased, the travel time might get increased, and the operation cost might also increase. So we should see as shortest route as possible. It should be easy also. It shouldn't be difficult, where though you have aligned, but the type of construction at that place is because of some obstructions, it has made the alignment very difficult. So we should see whether it is easy also or not. Sometimes though it has a longer route, but depending on the other situation where a shorter route has been creating problems because of obstacles, in those cases we should go for an easy route rather. So it should be easy also. It should be safe. Safety is the biggest thing which we require. We need safety of the commuters as well. We need safety of the vehicles as well. So safety is very important. Fourth, you can see the point. It should be economical also. It shouldn't be so costly. It is beyond our reach, and the commuters can't use it. So it should be economical. You can see here desirable to have a short alignment between two terminal stations. We mark stations in that it should be the shortest route. We should try our best to come up with the shortest route. See, where in some alignment networks where they are new and there are no existing networks, in those places this can be seen. A short network can be marked between two terminal stations. You can see easy to construct and maintain the road with minimum problem. Also easy for operation of vehicle. As I had told you, though, sometimes what happens is when we see a short route, some obstructions come in between, some mountainous areas come in between, some places, some big structures come in between. So short route is not possible always. In those conditions, we should see whether it is easy or no, where you can see to construct and maintain the road with minimum problem. And also easy for operation of vehicle. We should also see whether it is easy for operation of vehicle, and the construction is also easy, and the maintenance is also easy. You can see next the safe enough for construction and maintenance from the viewpoint of stability of natural hill slope. In hilly areas, it is very difficult. Sometimes there are landslides. Now because of those landslides, it is very difficult and it is very risky to commute to use that road network. So we should see in future, are there any chances of these also? Sometimes landslides are there, sometimes floods are there. So depending on that, we should also see whether it is safe or no. You can see from the viewpoint of stability of natural hill slope, embankment and cut slope, also safe for traffic operation. As I had told you, it should be safe for traffic operation also. Sometimes it has happened in snowy areas where there is snow, in the Himachal areas or in the Jammu and Kashmir, because of snow there in some seasons the continuous snowfall is there, and that in those areas we should see whether safety is being maintained or no, because sometimes vehicles also get stuck there. Economical, the total cost including initial cost, maintenance cost and vehicle operation cost should be minimum. Requirements of highway alignment, so it should be minimum. As I told you, it shouldn't be so high, it is beyond our reach. So the requirements, the economy also should be as least as possible. We should try to save the construction cost. Let us see here the factors controlling the alignment. Now what are the factors, what factors we have to see before coming with a good alignment? We should see what are the obligatory points are there, what is the amount of traffic over that road network, or the in future it might get increased, so we should have a good traffic count. We should see the geometric design as well, whether it is satisfying the proper criteria or no. So geometric design should also be seen. Economics also, as I have told you, it should be economic also. It shouldn't be so costly. It is beyond within the reach of a common people also. Other considerations, additional care in hill roads. In hill roads, you should come up with many safety factors are there. We should see all those things and come up with some network which is very feasible for commuters and saving their lives as well. You can see here, it should be stable also. Stability is also important. A drainage system, a proper drainage system is also required. Improper drainage system will lead to clogging of the roads, which will cause lead to a big problem to the commuters, as well as damage to the vehicle also, loss to property and life also. Geometric standards of hill roads, even this should be seen. What are the standards of the hill roads and resisting length? Let us see in the further slides what is this. Obligatory points through which alignment is to pass. Example, you have a bridge site, you have an intermediate town, mountain pass, etc. So these are the points in the middle through which the alignment has to pass. Sometimes a bridge comes in the between, we have to take a road network below it. So this should be seen. So we should see whether it is not coming in line of the bridge. So that should be seen. Intermediate town, sometimes there is need, we have to pass through an intermediate town. It is the need. Some goods come from one part of the state to the other state. In that situation, we need to unload some goods at one place. So intermediate town, even this should be seen. And mountain pass areas also. And mountain pass areas, as I had told you, landslides are prominent there. Sometimes because of those landslides, it is loss to property and life also. So even this should be taken into consideration. The obligatory points to which alignment should not pass. See, there are some points where there are no chances of alignment passing from there. What are those examples? You can see religious places. See, it is a sentiment of the people. So we try our best to avoid it. We try our best to avoid these religious places. So even this should be, they should not pass. Costly structure, it shouldn't be so costly where the cost of the construction is increasing. Unsuitable land also, sometimes the land is not proper. In those conditions also, we should try to avoid, like a pond has come or some river has come, we try to avoid it, because it might lead to it might increase the cost of the structure also. So depending on that, any unsuitable land is there, we try to avoid it. Next thing, what is the factor? Traffic origin and destination survey should be carried out in the area and desired lines be drawn showing the trend of the traffic. As I had told you, we need to have a good traffic count of that, the origin and destination, how many commuters are coming, starting from one place and reaching to the other place. The number of that count should come. In that count, we also see the peak hour flow also. In which hour the peak hour the flow is maximum. We even see that. So depending on that maximum counts also, and depending on the counts which might increase in future, we get a good data. Depending on that data, we come up with the alignment. New road to be aligned should keep in view the desired lines, traffic flow patterns and future trends. As I had told you, we have to see future also. After 10 years from now or 20 years from now, there are high chances of increase in the traffic volume. So seeing all these factors also, we should come up with a good alignment. Let us see next, geometric design factors such as gradient, radius of curve and side distance also govern the final alignment of the highway. Side distance, as I had told you, we should get in the places where there are curves, we should give a good side distance. If we don't give a good side distance, then there are high chances of collision of vehicles. We can't give steep curves somewhere. We should try our best to go for some alignment which doesn't come, which is proper always, because improper curves and alignments will lead to accidents also. You can see gradient should be flat and less than the ruling gradient or design. As I had told you, the gradient should be flat, the terrains should be flat. We can't come up with terrains which are hilly or are very high. So we need to cut that area, we need to cut the embankment, or sometimes we have to fill that area. So depending on that also we should see. Avoid sudden changes in side distance, especially near crossings. As I had told you, a good side distance should be given. All the obstructions that are coming, or all sharp curves, they should be avoided. Avoid sharp horizontal curves, or sharp horizontal curves are needed, should be avoided. Avoid road intersections near bend. Near the bend, we shouldn't provide road intersections. They should be provided at a place where there is no bend or there is a flat terrain. It is very important. You just can't provide some intersection at a place near the bend or a curve. It might have big consequences. You can see the economy part also. Alignment finalized based on total cost, including initial cost, maintenance cost, and vehicle operation. So this alignment should be finalized taking in all these considerations also. What was the initial cost, and what will be the cost for maintenance, and what is vehicle operation cost. All these should be seen in the start of the project only. Other considerations: drainage considerations, political considerations. See, there are drainage problems also because of providing improper drainage line, or not providing any drainage line. It will cause a very big damage. It will cause loss to lives. So it is very important we come up with a good drainage system. Political consideration: the political factors are always there in our country. So we have political pressures also. Depending on that also, they try to deviate the alignment, and they want to come up with an alignment where their interest is in some part of that area. So even this should be seen. Surface water level, high flood level. Surface water level shouldn't be so high where it makes us difficult to come up with a good alignment network or good maintenance also. You can see environmental consideration also. What is the climate? How is the environment? Even this should be seen. In Canada and different countries in the northern part of our world, in the Canada and everywhere where there is always snow is coming down, in those places they have different type for road construction. Topographical control points: the alignment where possible should avoid passing through marshy and low-lying land with poor drainage. As I had told you, we should also see what type of land we are coming across when providing a highway alignment, and if there is poor drainage also, we should avoid it. Flood-prone areas, even this is important. We can't come up with a big highway where there are flood-prone areas. Unstably hilly features. In hills there are many chances of landslides and other things coming up, so even this should be seen. Materials and construction features: deep cutting should be avoided. What happens when deep cutting is done? This makes the land improper, and because of that improper, there are high chances of instability being formed inside the earth. You can see earthwork is to be balanced. Quantities for filling and excavation, this should be seen. The quantities, what will be the quantities for filling and what will be the quantity of excavation, we should calculate this also. If the filling is very high, more than excavation, let us go for excavation. So this is seen. You can see alignment should preferably be through better soil area to minimize pavement thickness. If better soil is there, pavement thickness can be decreased. As I had told you, if at the bottom the subgrade soil is hard, in those situations we can come up with a thinner slab. Location may be near sources of embankment and pavement materials. As I had told you, the location should be easy, and whatever the requirements are, they should be set up very close to these people marking highway alignment. You can see stability. A common problem in hilly roads is landsliding. As I had told you, there is landsliding. High landsliding takes place. Sometimes the whole house washes away. The cutting and filling of the earth to construct roads on hilly sides causes steepening or existing slope and affects stability. As I had told you, when cutting is done, embankment is there is lot of excavation is done, there are chances of instability also. Drainage: avoid the cross drainage structure. We should try as much as possible to avoid the cross drainage structure. The number of cross drainage structures should be minimum. As I had told you, that any one single cross drainage structure, it increases the cost to a very high extent. We should try our best to avoid cross drainage structure. Still, if there is no possibility, then we can go for these structures also, even they are hard. Geometric standard of hilly road, you can see gradient, curve and speed. We have a geometric standard set up for them. Side distance, radius of curve, all these has been set up. So we need to see what is the standard setup for this. Resisting length, the total work to be done to move the loads along the route taking horizontal length. See, you have to move the roads along the horizontal length. The actual difference in level between two stations and the sum of inflective rise and fall in excess of floating gradient should be kept as low as possible. See, from your house to the place where you work, if you are staying there at that place only, we should take something and mark whether that person's percentage is proper, and what amount of alignment, what type of alignment should be done, that will be seen here. You can see here engineering surveys for highway location. Now, what are the different types of surveys? Before a highway and alignment is finalized, in highway project, the different surveys to be carried out are, you can see your map study. The whole map is taken and the study is done. Provisional alignment identification. Basically, we come up with a simple, you can see a rough sketch of alignment, and we see what are the difficulties that are being faced with this alignment. You can see that is the map study and the reconnaissance survey. You have preliminary survey, final location and detailed survey. Let us see what are these. Map study. From the map, alternative routes can be suggested in the office if the topographic map of that area is available. If we have a topographic map, we can come up with a suggestion. We can come up with a road pattern that has to be constructed in the related area. The probable alignment can be located on the map from the following details available on the map. As I had told you, probably we can come up with a rough draft. We can see from where what are the resources we have. Depending on those resources, we'll be marking the highway. We have to avoid valleys. We have to avoid ponds and lake as well. If we don't avoid these structures, these water bodies, then the construction cost will increase. The height, it will sometimes it might even get doubled also. So we have to avoid valleys, ponds or lakes also. Avoid bend of the river. See, as I had told you, whenever there are curves, there are high chances of skidding, as there are high chances of collision also. We should try our best to avoid those bends also. If the road has to cross a row of hills, possibility of crossing through mountain pass. See, even this should be seen whether there is possibility of mountain pass also. We should excavate some area. We should give a pass from there. So even this can be done or marked on the map study. Map study gives a rough guidance of the routes to be further surveyed in the field. So this we have come up with a map, and it is on paper. Taking this map route, then we go to the site, and from there we follow all the lines connected to this, and we see whether is this possible. Map study whether this alignment is possible or not. We'll get a clear picture from here. You can see reconnaissance survey to confirm features indicated on map. Now what we have to see is what all features are there on the map, what all are already existing, whether there are water bodies are there or costly structures are there which have come up, and whatever the different towns that are passing from side by, all these should be seen here. To examine the general character of the area and field for deciding the most feasible routes for detailed study. We should even see what are the different feasible routes available. You can see the survey party may inspect along the proposed alternative routes of the map in the field with very simple instrument like ebony level, tangent clinometer, barometer, etc. So these additional details can also be got if we come up, if we have a very simple instrument like ebony level, tangent clinometer, barometer, etc. can be used here. You can see the details to be collected from alternative routes during this survey. During this survey we need on this alignment, what are the valleys and ponds and lakes, and what all marshy lands and hill and permanent structures and other obstructions are there. This should be marked. All these surveys should be done, and what are the obstructions coming in between, all this should be marked on the map as well. Value of gradient, length of gradient, radius of curve, all this should be marked on the map. See, we need to have a rough diagram before going on to the site. So this is marked. All this survey is done and marked on the map. You can see number and type of cross drainage structures also. What are the different structures that are coming? High flood level, what is the flood level? We should see this also. Soil characteristic, we should see what is the bearing capacity of the soil also at those places where we are coming up with a road network. Now geological features, we have to see the source of construction materials, stone quarries, whether they are available nearby, water sources, whether they are available nearby or they are very far away from where we have to see what will be the transportation cost when getting these things. Prepare a report on merits and demerits of different alternative routes. So we have to come up with different alternative routes and finally one route will be decided. We have on different alternative routes, all this survey should be done. As a result, a few alternate alignments may be chosen for further study based on practical considerations observed at the site. As I had told you, sometimes on map some features are available, but on site there are not as what we have thought on the map. So it is very important we should get the exact report from, we should have a correct ground reality. What is the situation at the ground at that site? That it is very important. You can see a preliminary survey. Objective of preliminary survey are to survey various alternative elements proposed after the reconnaissance and to collect all necessary physical information and detailed of topography, drainage and soil. So you have come up, you have marked everything, we have seen what are the different obstructions. Now each obstruction or each drainage, cross drainage or what is the soil, all these details will be collected in this preliminary survey to compare the different proposals in view of the requirements of the good alignment. So different proposals are seen, what all things are all related to that that are kept in view here. So different structures that are coming in between, some religious structure even they come up in between, and what is the bearing capacity of the soil, what all is there, what is the type of terrain, all this will be done in the preliminary survey. To estimate quantity of earthwork materials and other construction aspect and to work out the cost of the alternative proposal. As I had told you in the preliminary survey, we will also see, we will come up with estimation and costing also. What is the estimation? How much amount of coarse aggregate, how much amount of fine aggregate, and what amount of cement and what amount of water. Everything should be calculated, whether they are handy, whether we can get it from a nearby site. All this should be seen here. Alternate proposals are needed here. Methods of preliminary survey, you can see conventional approach. Survey party carries out surveys using the required field equipment, taking measurement, collecting topographical and other data and carrying out soil survey. You must have seen people coming up with surveys. You must have seen some people using the total station and marking what is the size of the roads, how much we have to increase it from 2 lane to 4 lane. All this is conventional. This comes under conventional approach. Longitudinal and cross sectional profile, you can see plain terrain 100 to 200 meters, we mark the plain terrain, we see the rolling terrain also, and we see hilly terrain. So what are these meters, how much are they? We'll see all these things. This comes up in this preliminary survey. Other studies, where are the drainage cross structures, hydrological survey, soil survey, traffic and material survey. As I had told you, all these are also needed. Hydrological survey, soil survey, what is the type of soil, traffic, the amount of traffic, the count, and materials also nearby available. Modern rapid approach, in this approach we have by aerial survey, taking the required aerial photographs for obtaining the necessary topographic and other maps, including details of soils and geology. So we have now, because of modern approach, we have GPS and all these things, whatever remote sensing also we have. On that we take the pictures of the map from an aerial view, and then we study what is exactly available on the site. So this is also done. Now finalize the best alignment from all considerations by comparative analysis of alternate routes. So simple, we have to come up with all the alternate routes. We have to see what is the cost. We have to see what is the soil materials available. We have to see whether it is easy for construction, whether it is easy for maintenance. All this are seen on alternate routes also, and finally when one route is finalized. Final location and detailed survey. This is the final. Preliminary has been done. Now one alignment has to be finalized. Now what we'll do here, the alignment finalized at the design office after the preliminary survey is to be first located on the field by establishing the center line. So first, after coming up with a final decision, we have decided from different alignments or the alternative routes, one route has been decided and finalized. So now we come up, we mark it on the field. We'll mark the center line and everything on the field. In my previous videos, you must have seen by using the rods and everything, they are marked. Center line has been marked and the edges of the road are marked. Everything is marked. Location survey, transferring the alignment onto the ground. Now we have aligned everything on paper. We'll just transfer it onto the ground. This is done by transit theodolite. This is the instrument that is used. That is the transit theodolite. Major and minor control points are established on the ground and center pegs are driven, checking the geometric design requirements. We'll see all the major and minor control points. Pegs are established onto the ground and we'll mark the center line and all the different things. Center line stacks are driven at suitable intervals, say 50-meter interval in a plain and rolling terrains and 20-meter in hilly terrain. Because that is a hilly terrain, there are many ups and downs and many curves will be there. So every 20-meter we mark all this. And where the terrain is plain or rolling, in that we mark it for 50 meters. Sorry. You can see detailed survey. Now you can see temporary bench marks are fixed at intervals of about 250 meters and all drainage and underpass structure. So we mark all these from the map, we mark it onto the ground, onto the field. For every 250 meters, we mark all the necessary markings which have come up in the map that will be established onto the field, onto the ground now. Earthwork calculations and drainage details have to be worked from the level books. Yes, we have already seen earthwork calculations and what are the requirements. Costing is also seen depending on this alignment. Cross-sectional levels are taken at intervals of 50 to 100 meters in plain terrain. 50 to 100 meters we mark. 50 to 75 meters rolling terrain. If the terrain is plain, then from 50 to 100 meters we mark all this cross-sectional levels. But if the terrain is rolling, we come from 50 to 75 meters depending. We mark all these things. And if it is a built-up area, it is 50 meters. And if it is hilly terrain, then for every 20 meters, we mark these cross-sectional levels because the levels are not even. The levels either they decrease or increase. There is sudden increase or sudden decrease because of the mountainous area. So every 20 meters, we mark all this. Detailed soil survey is to be carried out. As I had told you, we need the California bearing ratio value of soils. CBR means California bearing ratio value of the soils. Along the alignment may be determined for design of pavement. Yes, we need to see what is the bearing ratio of the soil. And after getting that reports and whatever tests are related to it, after coming up with these reports, we have to see what type of pavement or what size of the pavement should be laid. The data during detailed surveys should be elaborate and complete for preparing detailed plans, design and estimates of projects. So it should be elaborate, everything should be specific, it shouldn't be vague, everything should be on paper and that should be easily located onto the ground. Drawing and reports, you can see we require all this key map is required in which everything is there. Index map, what are the important features are marked here. Preliminary survey plans, as I had told you, we need a preliminary survey. Detailed plan is required after finalizing with one alignment. Detailed plan is needed and longitudinal section also, this is also needed. Then detailed cross section, everything, every minute structure, we need detailed cross section of that structure also, which is coming in the way of the alignment. Land acquisition plans, there are some places where we need to acquire lands from farmers or villages or people whose houses or property are close to this alignment. We should even we should come up with some plans to acquire these things also. So those plans also should be submitted here. Drawing of cross drainage and other retaining structures. So we should, if some stream is passing by or some river is passing by, stream is passing by, we should come up with cross drainage structures also. So even they should be designed properly. All those reports should be attached here. Drawing of road intersections, where do we require intersection? So that depends on the traffic count also coming up from different places. So even drawing of those intersections should are also required in detail. Land plan showing quarries also. See, even plans showing quarries available nearby from the side, even those are needed here. So all these are the things which are very much needed before coming up with a good highway alignment. New highway project, we need for a new highway project, those were for a previous highway project, the new highway map study, as I had explained you all in detail in the previous slides. Reconnaissance survey, that is a
this is a survey before the preliminary survey, and preliminary survey we come up with different alternate routes, and finally location of final alignment, and finally we judge and we take a decision in the alignment, we finalize something. Detailed surveys done on each and every structure or each and every feature coming up in between this alignment. Material surveys also done, how easily the material is available, nearby quarries and whatever is available, even that is seen. Geometric and structural design, this is the very important. We should come up with good structural design so that this structure shouldn't collapse. Earthwork, whether excavation is needed or filling is needed, even that is seen here. Pavement construction is the total cost of the pavement construction, even that is seen. And construction controls, whatever we should see, we should try our best to reduce the construction cost without compromising in the quality of the material. We should come up with a good construction cost. We should reduce the cost. So even this is needed here. This is a new highway project. You can see here I have explained you all the things in detail. I request all of you all to please go through this video and please comment in the comment section if you all have not understood anything in this. I really appreciate your efforts in listening to these videos. I request you all to please go through these videos in detail. Just don't skip these videos. They are very important. Thank you. Thanks a lot for this session.